All right, Rob. Well, some of a lot of my listeners probably know you. Jeg klarer ikke å holde styr på det. A lot of my listeners probably know you a little bit from before, but and I think it's awesome that you worked with the football players, and a lot of my friends do. But why don't you do like the short version of your story as well, so people can build some rapport?
Well, I was working in elite sport, so I was working head of injury prevention and strength conditioning for Chelsea Football Club for 6 years, and during that time, I mean, I was working for a medical team, and so everything was very, everything was science-based, and I was doing a lot of analysis of players and the way they stood, and the way they held themselves. If you put a plumb line down, how much weight was on one foot, and what happens if, excuse me, if they close their eyes? Does that make their posture better and worse? I was looking at purely from a physical point of view.
Yep.
At that time, I also started to study alternative healing modalities, healing technologies like Reiki, body talk, and other stuff, because I started to realize that there was more to life than what science could prove.
Okay.
And I remember I was asking the players, they were standing on balances, so 1 foot on one balance, 1 foot on the other, and I would say to them, okay, when was the best sex you ever had? And you'd see them looking for the memory, and they'd get it, and they go, oh yeah, and their balance would come back, shift back into balance. And then I'd say, and I'd say, what was the worst day of your life? And you'd see their mind track for it, like Google, search memory, and then they'd shift even further, like up to 9 kilos on 1 foot of thinking about something. So I would turn to the doctor and I said, wow, did you see that? And the doctor was just like, his eyes just glazed over. It's like, oh, there's no pills involved or injections. So I kind of realized that I was starting to try and bring in stuff that was way beyond what they were ready to accept. So I went to work with a player in Barcelona Football Club. Had great success there, and I was using energetics, energy medicine on him. And I got to the point, in fact, I retired recently from hands-on work, which I've been doing physical hands-on work all my life, is because there was one guy who was at the Morten Hake Summit, and he said, Rob, can you work on my posture? So he walked in the hall area. I don't know if anyone of you guys were there. You saw it, right? Yeah. He walked, his kind of head was down and kind of moving, and his right arm was very stiff, and he looked unconfident, right? Like insecure in the way he walked. So he came back and he said, can you do something about my body language? So I went to put my hands to do something physical on him, and then I thought, no, hang on, I'm going to work on the cause, which is there's a weakness to a thought, or a weakness to a memory that he once had that was stored inside of him, and I knew I could shift that instantly. So Navid, you were watching, right? I did a correction. I think I corrected for some resentment towards his father or something like that. It took me 30 seconds, and then he walked, and it was literally different.
I saw the difference. I didn't see it when you did it, but I saw the like total difference afterwards when I talked to him.
I realized then, I said, I don't need to, because the physical body, the body language, is a symptom of a cause, right? Of a weakness.
Yeah.
That is pretty much always non-physical, and I can access the information to find where the weakness comes from and instantly shift it, so that your body will instantly change. So pain elimination is easy, because pain is pretty much always non-physical. So I can. Sorry, Navid. Yeah.
Yeah, you were talking about in the summit that we have immense physical intelligence, right? We were seeing the video clip of the cell, you remember? It was like, what the flying fuck, what is that?
Yeah. Avatar.
But yeah, right. And what I don't understand is if we have such a strong intelligence in our body, why can't the body follow the mind? So if you know what I mean?
Yeah. So the mind is limited to what it's learned in the past, and its beliefs based on its parents, and religion and culture and everything. So you have a set of beliefs, and your mind experiences things through those set of beliefs and perception, and then it distorts it. So you're just a bunch of distorted memories that create who you are now.
Yeah.
So what happens is with people is they think that they are their mind. They, that chattering voice in their head, they think that's them, and it speeds up like a pressure cooker. Like pretty much everyone you walk in the street, they're so in their head. Like if you imagine, like I don't know which cartoon it was, where there's kind of you're a robot and there's a little guy in the head, and then the body is like a machine underneath.
Yeah.
The mind thinks it knows best, and then it gets involved with the body. So let's say you eat some food, and then you go for a walk and you bloated belly. So your mind goes, well, it must be what I ate. But you could have, someone said something at the dinner table that weakened you. You could see a car drive past, which reminds you of a car crash you had when you were 2.
Oh, okay. So the body handles it; it's neutral to it. But when the mind comes in and interferes, everything sort of gets fucked up. Then
exactly, right? The mind will misinterpret, and that will create a weakness in itself.
Yeah.
So people are, and then they'll say, "Oh, I've got gluten intolerance." Then they'll go and do some study, and they'll think it's this, and this. But the mind it cannot ever know why something happens in the physical body. It's way too complex. You get all these experts saying, "Oh yeah, it's thyroid, it's deficiency vitamin B12." But the complexity of the human body can never be, reasoned by the mind. So
that's insane, right? We have this body all our life, and we don't understand half of it. We walk around and we don't know what it is. It's like the placebo effect. If we believe it works, it works. And I think I've read something about, even though you think it works, that if you think it's a placebo effect, it will still work somehow. I mean, it's so weird.
Well, I don't even work with placebo anymore. That's fine. I just work with getting instant results. So, talking about placebo starts to confuse the mind even more, whereas the mind you just need to get the mind out of the body. So
what I've seen, and I also talked about it on this podcast earlier, that all the experts, and I'm trying to crack the code of the body and how to train it, how to eat, and to be as healthy as possible. And what I found is the more I dig, the more confused I get. Experts within their field, the same field, with similar amount of years of experience, say the exact opposite thing of each other. I mean, there's complete chaos within the health, fitness, and nutrition world.
It's why people don't want to get into it. I mean, when they get into it, they found like a new universe of conflicting theories. So it's just like, why do it? I'll just go back to pizza.
Yeah, it's misinformation. It's harmful. So the people who get into health, they get even more sick because they're looking outside of themselves for answers, when it's just, it's like the washing machine analogy, like or the dishwasher. Everyone's going, why do I have water and foam on the floor. I need to get a mop. Maybe I use a better towel, like a specialist towel. And maybe it's the fungus in the room, or maybe it's the energy of the ley lines, when they just need to look at the washing machine, which is on spin constant, which is creating the foam, which is their mind. Get their mind out of their body, and then get someone, or learn themselves how to find where the plug is being pulled out of the back, so to speak. It's to literally just look for the yeah, everyone has the capability to find their weaknesses and correct them on the spot, so that they never need a doctor or a vitamin pill or anything ever again.